Reaching the South Texas news leader. This is 3 News at 10.
On 3 News, dramatic new video showing that crane accident that happened on the New Harbor Bridge. Tonight, while we now have a better idea of just how dangerous that incident really was. Also tonight, urgency in the Texas House as the lower chamber now has just 2 hours left to decide which bills will move on and which will die, why they'll be working up to the deadline. Plus, we are now less than an hour away from the end of Title 42. Lawmakers are weighing in. The Secretary of Homeland Security aware of what's next.
We are clear-eyed about the challenges we are likely to face in the days and weeks ahead.
Tonight, the tougher consequences that may be faced by those who enter this country. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us here. I'm Mike Gillespie. 3 News has obtained surveillance video from the Port of Corpus Christi that's giving a better picture tonight of the crane accident on the New Harbor Bridge construction. This as an attorney claims that his client's injuries were caused by falling debris and the developer's negligence. Our Bill Churchwell has been combing through that video and joins us now with that story. And Bill, what were you able to see? Less than an hour away from the end of the pandemic-era immigration policy, Title 42. It is set to expire at 11 p.m. our time. Now, once that happens, it will be harder for migrants to apply for asylum in the U.S. As Title 42 goes away, migrants arriving at the southern U.S. border will find new rules making it more difficult to apply. ABC's Morgan Norwood is in El Paso as time runs out. Well, earlier, Senator Ted Cruz joined several other senators at the border town of Brownsville. Cruz blaming any increase of people crossing the border on Democratic leaders, saying the state will not be able to handle the surge.
The great state of Texas is on the front lines. The volume is overwhelming. It's got to stop.
Now, President Biden has conceded that the border will be chaotic for a while. Of course, with everything happening at the border tonight, some local groups are using their resources to help those who are seeking a better future on American soil. The South Texas Human Rights Center has been in Brooks County for 10 years now. They say that they too are anticipating a large influx of migrants when Title 42 comes to an end here in just a bit. Tonight, they are preparing their supplies, things like water, for any of the migrants that they expect to encounter.
They're trying to get through for very basic human rights, to survive and to make it through. They come here to work. How compassionate can we be?
Now, the South Texas Human Rights Center maintains hundreds of water stations in Brooks County on both public and private land. They're also in need of gallon water donations. You can give by going to the American Federation of Teachers office. That's at 4455 SPID. And it's located in Suite 48. One of the victims of the Robb Elementary School shooting is asking people to wear green tomorrow in honor of her daughter. We have reported here on Matty Rodriguez. She is the young girl who dreamed of one day going to Texas A&M Corpus Christi and becoming a marine biologist. And in exactly 2 weeks, we will be marking 1 year since the shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. The flag at the memorial is at half staff once again, leading up to the anniversary. This time, though, it's for the Allen mass shooting in North Texas. Across the state today, students walked out of their classes to protest gun violence. Many are calling on the Texas House of Representatives to vote on a bill that they say will help. It would raise the age to purchase semi-automatic weapons from 18 to 21. House Bill 2744 was voted out of committee with bipartisan support just 2 days after the Allen Outlet Mall mass shooting. But the Calendars Committee did not set a date for the House to vote on the bill. Still, Democrats continue trying to get a vote on the legislation. State Representative Joe Moody tried to add the raise the age bill as an amendment.
Let me be clear. Had this been law last year at this time, those teachers, those kids would be alive today. Full stop. Democrats say they will keep trying before the session ends on May 29th.
The clock is ticking for the Texas House of Representatives tonight as the deadline for lawmakers in the House to take initial votes on bills is now less than 2 hours away. The lower chamber has until midnight to vote on approving or denying a bill from getting closer to becoming law. It would have to be voted out of the House in order to stay alive. Deadline day typically sees representatives using various tactics to either push a bill through or stall it long enough to kill it. That's often accomplished through long speeches, relevant to the bill or not, and by asking questions, both serious and off topic.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing us into your home. I'm Rudy Trevino.
And I'm Leslie Adamy. We begin tonight with breaking news that the man accused of killing 5 of his neighbors in San Jacinto County is now in custody after a manhunt that lasted 4 days.
Francisco Oropesa is accused of going on the shooting rampage late Friday night after he was asked to stop shooting his gun on his property. Law enforcement had spent days chasing down leads on his possible whereabouts before a tip led them to his capture just a few hours ago.
Officials say he was taken into custody without incident and is currently at the Montgomery County Jail in the city of Conroe. He was found at a location which law enforcement had previously searched.
Law enforcement wrapped up their press conference just before we came to air, and San Jacinto Sheriff Greg Capers passed on this message to the families of all the victims.
Well, they can rest easy now because he is behind bars, and he will live out his life behind bars for killing those 5.
Authorities are exploring possible charges for those who helped Oropesa hide. At the moment, it is unclear how many people actually helped him.
We've got news from the courtroom tonight where a woman charged with intoxication manslaughter making a request to a Nueces County judge today. 30-year-old Sarah Haas appeared before a judge asking to change her bond conditions to allow her to work different hours at her job. The judge agreed. Haas was charged with intoxication manslaughter after driving the wrong way on the SPID frontage road, killing motorcyclist and popular band member Tim Barrera in Flower Bluff. If convicted, Haas could face between 2 and 20 years in prison. We, of course, will continue to follow this case. And more questions than answers. That's what also came out of the Nueces County Courthouse today as Judge Jack Polcher ruled that the Nueces County Sheriff's Office has to turn over administrative records in the Jacob Judd case. Now, this all started as a case of an alleged parole violator evading law enforcement. Back in January, investigators say Judd pulled a gun on sheriff's deputies. He then took off, leading them on a chase into the Oso Bay before eventually surrendering. Those records ordered released to the district attorney's office contain statements deputies were compelled or ordered to make to superiors. DA Mark Gonzalez tells 3 News that his office needs to see the files to understand the circumstances surrounding Judd's arrest.
I'm glad the judge ruled the way he did. It's very surprising and telling to me that you would have any law enforcement agency actively not wanting to provide information.
Now, the Nueces County Attorney and the Sheriff's Office have 2 weeks to turn over those documents. Gonzalez says they could reveal more information. As of right now, Judd is not being charged, but the case against him could be refiled or...
And tonight, state lawmakers have passed a bill that will allow Corpus Christi to use state sales tax dollars for improvements to be made to the American Bank Center. The bill allows the state haunt taxes in a 3-mile area around the American Bank Center to stay here in the city instead of going to the state. One councilman believes that over a 30-year period, that could be around $250 million staying with the city. The bill is headed to the governor's desk, and the governor's office has indicated that he will support it.
Hey, it is 6:08 on this Friday evening, and here's a live look outside at right along SPID in front of our KIII studio. You can see things moving nicely out there.
Yes, nicely and smoothly. Now, if you're hitting the roads this evening for the Memorial Day weekend, you should be paying less to get to your destination.
Joining us here on 3 News, I'm Mike Gillespie.
And I'm Leslie Adamy. We begin tonight with a look outside. Many of you have already gotten the weekend started. For several, it is a 3-day weekend in observance of Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, it's also seen as the unofficial start to the summer season, so Why don't we get it started with Chief Meteorologist Alan Holt, who joins us here to lead us off. Hey, Alan.
Yeah, Mike, Leslie, we've got the Blue Ghosts, a.k.a. the Hooks, in town this evening.
Hey, new tonight here at 6. If you have been to the beach recently, or maybe you saw our report at 5, then you might have noticed clumps of seaweed in different spots.
Yeah, that stuff right there, and it's called sargassum, and it originates from the Atlantic Ocean. Our Brandon Schaff joins us live from Padre Valley Park to tell us if more of it is coming to our pocket of Texas. Hey there, Brandon.
Got one more day of the Tropical Conference. Tomorrow we're going to be talking with Phil Klotzbach. That's who released the early season outlook. You'll want to hear what he had to say. We're going to share that with you tomorrow. For now, though, Kristen, send it back to the KIII studios.
Hey there, Alan. I hope you're enjoying South Padre. It feels almost like it does down there. We're in the 70s in both places, 76 here in...
Well, a year's worth of hard work and determination paying off for thousands of students across Nueces County this week as the 88th annual Nueces County Junior Livestock Show continues over at the Richard M. Borchard Fairgrounds in Robstown. That's where we find our 3 News crew out live tonight. Rudy, Leslie, and Alan are continuing the TV3 tradition of broadcasting from the stock show. Now, you all have been showcasing some amazing kids out there this evening, and boy, there are so many folks who take part in this event.
Absolutely tons of folks who take part to make it happen.
Appreciate y'all's support.
Absolutely.
So thank you guys so much for your time. We also have Chief Meteorologist Alan Hull. He is wandering around the barn. Alan, tell us about how it's like where you are.
I'm over in the rabbit and goat area. It's a lot quieter.
The students.
The goats.
Yeah.
Trying to keep the animals in line during the interviews. It was great.
Hey, anything can happen on live TV. All right, that's our report.
See you at 10.